Hello, I'm Shu-Ju Wang. In this video, I will show you how to make your own copy of Castor and Sapient, a free downloadable version of my artist book of the same title. In the video description below, you will find a link to the PDF that contains all the pages you need, and a second link to another video that talks about the genesis and creation of the original Castor and Sapient. Here are two versions of Castor and Sapient. At the top is the limited edition version that I wrote, painted, and printed using acrylic, silkscreen, and etching techniques, and then bound. Many people helped me with the process of creating this book. And on the bottom is one of 3 copies that I made from materials that I have around the house, following the instructions in this video. The copy you make will be similar to these. There are 35 copies of the limited edition version. To create this book, I researched the long history of humans' exploitations of our planet, focusing on beaver hunting and logging, and our current restoration efforts, and also the natural and developmental histories of the area that I live in Portland, Oregon. On the back of this book, I have silk-screened and collaged a representation of the beaver dam. You will create your book with the instructions in this video. You will use simple and basic tools, and it's okay if it's not perfect. I encourage you to research the natural and developmental histories of your neighborhood and add your story and photographs to your copy. Both books read like accordion books with 2 foldouts. The 2 versions are identical except for a few things. The downloadable copy is smaller in black and white, but you can color it. The colophon is a statement included with each book that describes how the book was produced and by whom. The copy you download will say that it is a free downloadable version and bound by you. The back of your book will be blank, and it's a space for you to write or draw while you learn about your neighborhood. Here are the materials and tools you'll need: a laser or inkjet printer or copier, letter-size printer paper or any text weight paper, 2 boards for covers. They need to be 5 inches by 8 inches or larger, ruler or straight edge, X-Acto knife or scissors, glue stick is really easy, scrap paper and wet rag for gluing and cleaning, a cutting surface like a self-healing mat, a bone folder or tool with a rounded blunt tip like a small butter knife, a small paper weight or a clean small rock, 2 binder clips, and optionally a corner rounder, and 2 half-inch thick boards with straight edges a few inches long to use as guides. Also optional, color markers, color pencils, crayons, ink pens to draw or add your own story. Print the PDF file containing the pages of the book. Set your printer to single-sided and portrait format. You will print 2 pages of the book per sheet of paper. On each sheet, you'll see 2 large boxes and solid black lines. Notice that they're not all the same size. Page 5, 6, 11, and 12 are a little bit smaller. Cut each page along these solid lines, but do not cut the dashed lines. After trimming along the solid black lines, there are 24 individual pages. Each page is divided by a dashed line into a larger area on the left and a smaller shaded area on the right that is numbered. This is the page number. You should have numbers 1 to 24. Now you're ready to start putting your book together. We will work on pages 5 to 6 first, then 11 and 12. Trim off the shaded area on page 5 along the dashed line and place face down on a piece of scrap paper. Line up page 6 to 5, back to back, and on the top, bottom, and left. Use a paperweight to hold the 2 pages down. Lift up page 6 on the left edge and apply glue to the edge of page 5, then press page 6 down over the edge and attach firmly. Lift up page 6 on the right edge and apply glue to the edge of page 5, replace the scrap paper, then press page 6 down over the edge and attach firmly. If you did not replace the scrap paper, then you may have glue on page 6, which we don't want at this point. To attach page 11 to page 12, trim off the gray area on page 11, then follow the same instructions. Now attach the foldouts. Place page 6 face up, crease along the dashed line, and fold towards the left side. Open the fold, then place page 7 face down over page 6, right edge butted up to the fold, line up top and bottom. Place a sheet of scrap paper underneath page 6 gray tab and apply glue. Fold the tab over the back of page 7, press down and attach firmly. Follow the same instructions to attach the foldout number 12 to page 13. To continue, it will be easier if you crease and fold all the pages first, so you don't need to change tools all the time. So on all the odd pages, score along the dashed line and fold towards the large area along the crease. On the even pages, score along the dashed line and fold backwards along the crease. Now you're ready to put all the pages together. Start with page 1. Place page 1 face up, open up the fold, and put page 2 face down over page 1. Right edge butted up to the fold, line up top and bottom. Put a sheet of scrap paper underneath page 1 gray tab and apply glue. Fold the tab over the back of page 2, press down firmly to attach. Open up the 2 pages and you should have a blank page on the left and a title page on the right. This is a spread. Attach page 3 to page 4 following the same instructions using a fresh sheet of scrap paper. To attach page 7 to 8, be careful that page 7 now has the foldout attached to it, so keep it folded and treat it like a single page. Then attach page 9 to 10, 13 to 14, again remember that 13 has a foldout attached, 15 to 16, 17 to 18, 19 to 20, 21 to 22. You now have 10 spreads, numbered by even numbers. 2 of the spreads have foldouts attached. Close all the spreads with the foldouts tucked inside. With all the folded edges on the same side, stack up the spreads in order. Line up the edges as closely as possible and use the binder's clip to clip the folded sides together. I use some scrap paper to make sure the clips don't leave marks. With the spread number 2 on the bottom of the stack, place the scrap under the page and place a second scrap under the tab. Apply glue to the tab, remove the scrap under the tab and replace the scrap under the page with the fresh piece and press the page above, down, and attach firmly. Now find tab 4, put a piece of scrap under the page, another piece under the tab, and apply glue. Remove the scrap under the tab and replace the scrap under the page. Press the page above it down and attach firmly. You will leave the clean scraps in between the pages as you repeat this process to tabs 8, 10, 14, 16, 18, and 20, but not to 22. You will trim off tab 22. You now have a text block. To make the covers, decide whether you want the covers to be the same size as the text block or slightly larger and use the template to cut 2 cover boards. For my 3 sample books, I used some corrugated cardboards, some leftover mat boards, and a thin chipboard. One set is cut to the same size as the text block. 2 sets are cut slightly larger. If you have 2 boards with straight edges to use as guides, here's where they're handy. You can do it without the guides, but they'll make it easier. Line up your guides perpendicular to each other. Apply glue to the first page of the text block and drop the text block to the L of the guides. For this video, I've cut my boards to the same size as the text block, so I'm pushing my text block flush into my guides. But if your boards are a little larger, then you want to leave yourself a little bit of space between the text block and the guides. Then line up the cover boards to the guides, drop down and attach to the text block. Press firmly to attach. Apply glue to the last page of the text block and attach to the other board, following the same procedure. Now you can put your name in the colophon and start coloring and adding the story of your neighborhood to the book. If something goes wrong while you're making this book, you can always print out another copy and try it again. There are many ways you can improve on this very basic version. You can use a better quality paper that your printer will accept. You can use better cover boards with decorative papers. You can make a jig similar to what I showed you with the 2 boards, so that when you trim your paper or fold your paper, they'll come out more precise. There are many ways this process can be improved, and I hope you'll have fun figuring out how to make a really wonderful version of your own Castor and Sapient.